Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Nitrostorm here. Welcome back to Revived Witch. So this is just a quick video for now regarding the new game mode path not taken. So the first week has pretty much finished, and I've done it on both of my accounts, of course. Unfortunately, my free-to-play one didn't get 35k, but it's for just a single reason. I chose not to rush my my account, as in I chose to save my stamina potions instead of using them to rush mana to upgrade my Selania's skill tree, and which if I did, I would have gotten 35k on this account. I did get 35k on my other one to get the frame, which I unfortunately didn't get here, but next time this path not taken reopens, then I should be able to. But in any case, the point of this video is just to show you guys my first impressions, my first experience regarding this game mode, and I guess let you guys know how I feel about it for my first week. So first things first, let's take a look at what teams I used on my free-to-play account. So against the Great Axe Rahal, as you can see, my highest score is 6.7k. So I guess my first tip for those that are, still catching up and stuff like that, or relatively new to the game, is to ignore the time modifiers and see if you're able to survive just by maxing out everything else. And if you do that with no time limit, even if it takes you 900 seconds, for example, right, you still get the 6.7k score. So, that's just something to note. You don't need to have a time constraint if you're unable to complete it in under a certain number of time. And so, that's just one thing. And that's what I did for this Great Axe. If I had, more better raised DPS characters, then I would have been able to finish this. And let's take a look at the dailies that I've done. So, if you go to clear record, so this is for the Great Axe. This is for daily 1. I went with Maya as my main DPS, as if I'm not mistaken, the enemy for this time was, I think, physical resistant, so we used magic DPS for the Mantis sisters, and so that's what I used. And if you can see, my highest was 4.3k, so I'm assuming that I also had a pretty lenient time constraint here, considering my DPS was Ascend 3. And then if you take a look at this one, I think I had a decent score here, 4.6k on daily 2, and that's because I used the usual Solania comp there. And then for daily 3, this time I just went straight for it. I think that's because the damage of the enemy was a bit too low, I think, or something like that. It wastes a bit too much time, and so I just left the team comp as it is up front and didn't get any bonus same element stats. And then for daily 4, it was pretty straightforward. I was able to use my physical team throughout, and same deal for today. So this is obviously going to change as the extra constraints here will, I think, differ depending on if they're a daily boss or if they're a weekly boss. If they're a weekly boss, all of this will be available, as this will be your highest scoring stage, so I guess it's highly recommended to do as good as possible here, which I'll aim to do next time, because even if I do get higher, my total score is currently 1000 behind, so I'm unable to get the frame, sadly. But yeah, so for my first impressions, I think it's not that bad, right? As you can see, I don't have any limited characters. Well, I guess Dorin would count as one. She's an event character. But in terms of... actually, Solania is also limited. Alright, apologies, guys. But yeah, so I don't have someone like Sasivi, which I think is actually very good for this game mode. Now, the reason why I didn't pull was because I thought I wasn't going to have enough funds for Catherine But as you can see from the video that I've posted, in hindsight, perhaps I should have tried, but you never know, but butterfly effect and stuff like that. But yeah, so I think the most important thing for path not taken is to ensure that your main DPS is passive level 2 for most effectiveness. So I have Tonel at passive level 2, which is a given. That she's highly recommended at the moment for path not taken, in my opinion, if you do have her. And then for DPS, you can see my Solange is only passive level 1, and I think that's a huge detriment to my overall damage. And so if you're planning to use a DPS, it's highly recommended you make them passive level 2 to ensure that you have a good clear time, or perhaps even improve your clear time. And yeah, as you can see, I made my PR Ascent 4, but still level 1 passive because I'm firstly broke on mana, which I might actually have to normally farm the old-fashioned way. But yeah, so that's my status on my free-to-play account. Alright, so we're on the other account that I use. And as you can see, I managed to get 35k. I went a bit over, which is, pretty good, considering the fact that I don't have Sasivi, which I've said that she is really good. And again, I skipped Sasivi on this account as well because I thought I wasn't going to get Catherine that early, but I did. Actually, no, I had to pity Catherine on this account, but I wanted to save my souls for the discount multis. In any case, I'll just quickly show you guys who I used for the whole week. So I used Tonel, Amanami, and Ushpia. And then I only used her here just for the stat boost, the 10% stat boost. And if you go to clear record, again, I used the same team here for daily 1. Daily 2, I did the Solania comp. And then daily 3, I used my Amanami comp again. Daily 4, Solania comp. Daily 5, Amanami comp. And then daily 6, Solania comp. So as you can see, just depending on which side the requirements are leaning towards, I would either use a magical team or a physical team. But in overall sense, I'm only using, in terms of unique characters, I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Amanami, Ushpia, Tonel, Catherine, and Solania. Now, of course, if you check the rankings list, there's always those big boys with the look at this guy. Level 100, basically maxed out Solania with insane crit stats. If I tap the screen here, there you go. Look, 30% crit chance, and then 240% critical damage. But yeah, so obviously you can get much better scores, but I'm just showing you guys what I used, and it worked out pretty well. As you can see, 35.6k. Hopefully, it continues to stay that way. And in terms of how they're built, I'll show you guys right now. So the reason why I didn't show it on my free-to-play account was because I didn't get 35k. So I decided to show it on the account I did get 35k on, so you have like a good understanding on what kind of character, like how you build your characters. So let's start off with my magic DPS, Ushpia. Now I know that she's all maxed out, but I think she will do good enough if you just level 5 the S2, or just keep her passive level 2, as in level 4 skills and then level 2 passive. I think that would work as well. I just maxed her out because I leveled up her second skill to level 5 just to make it more consistent, and I was like, okay, I might as well just max this one as well, and I just completely maxed her out, and that's what I did. So these are stats for the equipment. I just did something like this, crit chance. I don't know if magic damage bonus is good, but the third stat is good as well, so I just kept it. And then for the armor, of course, just get the high attack stat. That's the only thing you can get offensively speaking when it comes to armor. And then for the ring, just go for crit chance, crit damage as well. I usually go with this one as well if I need more consistency in critting. But for the most part, if I can bank on getting lucky, then I just go for this ring. And then next up is Solania. Obviously, I ring swap, Obviously, I can't have... I don't have, a strong ring like 5 times. I have to swap gear around. So I made Solange passive level 2, and I did this during the week, like when I needed the physical DPS, and I was like, okay, Solange's not doing enough. I made her passive level 2, and it definitely made a huge difference on her overall damage. So this is definitely worth doing if you do have Solange and you're planning to use her for Path Not Taken as your physical DPS. And these are her stats. So I got this one. And then for this, I also would swap armor with our girl Ushpia here, just for the extra attack. And then for the ring, obviously I just showed you the ring swap. So this was what her stats would look like if I were to use her as the main DPS. You know, pretty straightforward. Alright, next up we have Toenail. Her gear is gonna stay untouched because I don't really like swapping her gear around because she's pretty consistent everywhere. And so again, passive level 2. I gave her as much attack as possible. As you can see, attack percent on the ring, attack stat on the armor, and then high attack base weapon. So you have to use the harp here and not the book. And again with attack percent. And that's about it really. I could make the charge skill level 5 just to make it a bit, just to make the buff even higher. But you know, it's not really necessary, I think. And then last but not least, for the level 2 passives, we have Amanami. And I have this weapon. I managed to get lucky with this one because this is a box weapon, which has the orderly fashion thing. Now, I could use the Seraph Grail, which she was using before, but I'm just using this because I think during Arcana Burst, when the charge skill hits, it at least benefits from the extra damage boost from the orderly fashion. And then for the armor, I don't really mind her not having extra attack because her attack boost is generalized. It's not based on her own attack. And that I'm only increasing Amanami's attack just to increase her damage dealt by the charge skill. And then last but not least, the 5th character that I used for this week's Path Not Taken was Catherine. And I just gave her as much HP and physical defense as possible while still giving her decent attack, just so we can utilize her damage dealing second skill, you know, just a little bit, you know, every little bit helps in terms of damage. And passive level 1. I am considering making her passive level 2, but as you can see, I only have 158k mana. Anyway, this is her stats on the gear, so I gave her HP percent here. And then for the armor, you know, same deal. I didn't really bother trying to get OP rerolls in that one. And then for the ring, again, just some more HP percent. And there you go, really. When it comes to doing... Like, so there's just one more tip right before I end of the video. When it comes to doing Path Not Taken, I guess like the first thing that you would normally think of doing is maxing out all your stats here and then trying to clear it like this, right? Which is a good step forward, right? But then when you try and do it like this or like this, it's like, oh, that's a bit too difficult. So if the enemy, for example, has buffing their own defenses for both physical and magical defense, you could experiment with it. For example, let's say you're unable to... Let's say you can do this, right? For example, you max it all out and then you clear it in 180 seconds and you're like, I want to improve my score. So, as I've mentioned earlier, if I do it like this, the jump is too difficult now, right? From 7k to 7.2k, you're unable to clear it. But when you experiment with your teams, and let's say you had a physical team, and then you reduce that by a little bit, so your score boost is only 100 increase. However, that 100 change was the difference between you finishing it in 90 seconds and you not finishing it in 90 seconds. And I know it's only 100 score increase, but it's still an improvement, which is very, very helpful when it comes to doing Path Not Taken. As you can see, I'm only 600 above, and the characters that I have, while they are pretty decently built, I am still limited in the sense that I am low on mana, they're not fully maxed out in skills, so on and so forth. In any case, this wasn't really a guide, it's just like my first impressions of Path Not Taken. I would say it's an end game mode, if I do say so myself. Like, as I've mentioned, I had to passive level 2 my Solania to get a higher score in Path Not Taken, which if I didn't do, I wouldn't get 35k, like what happened with my free-to-play account. It didn't get 35k because my Solania is passive level 1. Now, of course, if you don't have Solania, Akasha does work pretty well here, and if you save up enough of the currency, you can go to the shop, go to trials section, and then go to unique equipment. You can buy yourself the Star Will for Akasha if you want to, or for someone else if you want to save up. I think I'm going to go for Ushpia's one, or maybe I get lucky and I get it when summoning. Hopefully that's the case, because I already maxed out my Ushpia, so might as well go for the waifu route, go for the Basilisk Soul, and, you know, buff her even more, right? Well, in any case, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Just a first impressions on Path Not Taken with a few tips here and there. If you want me to make a guide to Path Not Taken, I'll try to. Just keep in mind that the guide that I'm going to be doing is for, like, I guess, beginners and stuff. It's going to be a quick one since the tips are pretty straightforward. So if you still want that, do let me know down in the comments below. In any case, it's been your boy Nitrostorm. I'll see you guys in the next stream or video. Peace.